What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you are on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to brighten up the place. Let's get into this beautifully honest reaction. And listen, guys, I'm reacting to a TikTok video that was actually sent to me. And I apologize if any of you are listening to this and you have sent me anything and I have not gotten to it. It definitely isn't because I have ignored it. I have several email addresses. I just have a lot of stuff going on, and there are times when I may not get to my emails, even though I do have someone that assists me with my emails. Sometimes I don't even get a chance to, I would say, respond to or check it out in a very timely fashion, because I mean, I really do get at least hundreds of emails a day collectively across all of my different email addresses for businesses. But I digress. That I just wanted to mention that. But I talked about this before, and I've actually gotten a few TikTok videos where people have done responses to Tyler Perry and his thoughts on if Black women really want love, they should be okay with getting with a dude who doesn't make as much money, because, like he likes to say, most Black women these days are making more than Black men. Let's just speak to that for a moment. Actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get into this video. And there's a reason why I'm responding to this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and get into this video.
At Black women's business. It's not my business. At a Black women's business. It's not my business. But as a white woman, I want to remind everyone that Tyler Perry does not care what women think, because Tyler Perry is not a straight man. So please don't take Tyler Perry's advice on what you as a woman should be settling for, because that man doesn't care what happens in your home and in your bedroom and in your life.
A lot of women, especially Black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this.
You're going to get trouble for saying this because you don't dare.
I had to pause that for a minute. But did you hear what that woman said? First of all, she said she tries to make it her business to stay out of Black women's business because she is not a Black woman. But when she said that Tyler Perry doesn't care about what women need or want is because he is not a straight man, I almost fell over, because, listen, when I did my conversation a few days ago where I was discussing Tyler Perry and this ridiculous comment that he made about, it wasn't even a comment, but it was a discussion pretty much that he was having about Black women that want love, I felt that it was extremely disrespectful. One, because it was coming out of the mouth of a man that has been deemed to be a billionaire. And two, becoming a billionaire off of pretty much the backs of Black women, because straight Black men don't support Tyler Perry. Let's just be honest. Straight Black men have been, for the most part, I will say, I'm not going to say every straight Black man, but most straight Black men have been extremely just thinking that Tyler Perry has been disrespectful to Black men by how they feel that they have been portrayed in his movies. A lot of them feel like he will have the darker skinned Black man as the villain and the lighter skinned Black man as the savior. He feels that a lot of Black men, I should say, a lot of straight Black men feel that he will discredit Black men in his productions. And a lot of them feel that he is not straight. And when I did my conversation a few days ago, when I was talking about this, I was seeing him through the lens of being madea, because that's pretty much how he has gotten his wealth, for the most part, being a drag queen. And not a very good one, might I add. the queens on RuPaul's Drag Race, they do it a whole lot better than he does, but I digress. He has gotten the majority of his money based off of trying to portray a black woman, as well as the majority of his productions have been supported by black women, period. Yeah, he may have had a little bit of, I won't even say crossover, but I will be honest, the way I have felt about a lot of the Caucasians who have gone to see his movies or watch his things, they're not watching the movie that he did, for example, The Family That Prays, which was actually a decent movie. That was one of the movies where Madea was not cast as a character, right? But the majority of those that are Caucasian that would see his productions, they're looking at Madea. They're not looking at Tyler Perry. They see the mammy, the fat black woman with the gray wig and the big old muumuu for a dress, and they see that as funny and comical. And that's how he has gotten the support of those that would spend the money to go and see his movies in the theaters. They were not going to see The Family That Prays. They were going to go see Madea Goes to Jail, or one of those Madea movies. I don't know all of them. But listen, when that woman said that he is not a straight man, that proves my point, because I said that in my conversation where I was discussing this topic. I was like, does Madea even want him? Does Madea want a man, or does Tyler want a man? And so for him to talk about how black women should be okay with being with a man that may not be able to support them, but if, hey, he can chip in for the light bill and maybe take you out to eat every now and then, you should be okay with that. Is he speaking about black women, or is he speaking about himself? Because let's just be real. Most of us believe he would prefer to be with a man. And two, the men that he would be with, they wouldn't be able to support him because he incredibly outweighs their worth and their earnings. So for him to put on black women what he should really be speaking about for himself was absolutely ridiculous.
A lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this.
You're going to get trouble for saying this because you don't date women. Stop giving relationship advice to women when you don't date women. Dude.
Revealed the news of his split from longtime girlfriend Galita Bacala on Instagram on December 7th. People started dating back in 2007 and welcomed their son, Amon Tyler, in December 2014. Tyler recently spoke candidly about overcoming the trials in relationships during his inspirational speech at the 2020 People's Choice Awards in November.
In this world, we're all digging wells. In our lives, we're digging wells. We're digging wells in relationships where we put all this time and effort and energy, and sometimes it doesn't give us what we need. We put all our time and effort and energy in our dreams and our business, and it doesn't give us what we need or what we were after. But if you just keep digging, my God, if you could just hear me right now, just keep digging. You may be 4 inches away from every gift and every blessing that you've ever wanted in your life.
I try to stay out of black women's business. It's not my business. But as a white woman, I want to remind everyone that Tyler Perry does not care what women think, because Tyler Perry is not a straight man. So please don't take Tyler Perry's advice on what you as a woman should be settling for, because that man doesn't care what happens in your home and in your bedroom and in your life.
A lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this.
You're going to get trouble for saying this because you don't date women. Stop giving relationship advice to women when you don't date women. Dude.
So yeah, I just had to put that on replay and repeat because I find it, honestly, what he said, I know a lot of people are angry about it, and I understand that too. I really do. Okay. But we cannot take him seriously. And the males, I'm not going to say men, the males that would try to jump on the bandwagon of that to say, see, even Tyler Perry says it. Listen, get up out of here, because one, as a male, Tyler Perry should be holding other males to task. But we know that, unfortunately, especially in the African American sector, that usually isn't received well when a man holds other males that look like them or look similar to them to task. There's been so many examples of that over the years when a man who may be in a position of some sort of authority, definitely maybe some fame or celebrity, obviously some money, and they get a platform to come out and speak, then men don't take too kindly to it. I don't know if you all remember when former President Barack Obama, he did a speech where he was speaking to African American males. That was not received well by a lot of men. And Jesse Jackson was caught on a hot mic, pretty much so pissed at him that he said that he wanted to cut his nuts off. Do you all remember that? When, even though he has been disgraced at this point in time, Bill Cosby, when he came out and he was saying things about black men and how they need to present themselves and stop wearing their pants sagging and just a number of other things that he said, again, a lot of black men did not take too kindly to that. Again, these are just a few examples. When the deceased Kevin Samuels, when he was initially doing his content, he was speaking to black men and what they needed to do in order to level up so that they could see changes in their lives. And he was not getting a lot of views. It was not received well. But when he flipped the script and started changing his content to start speaking to black women and what they needed to do if they wanted to have a man and if they wanted a high value man and all of this other stuff, and saying that they were going to die broke and alone and then they're going to have a lot of cats and all of this other bull crap. Ironically, he died alone, and it has been alleged that he definitely wasn't wealthy, even though he was getting a lot of views and getting money from YouTube. There were a lot of other things that, if you weighed the assets versus the liabilities, he was not a wealthy man, a high value man. But I digress. When he was speaking to black women and calling them out, then he started getting more views, more subscribers, which equaled more money from YouTube, from Google, and that catapulted his name. You know what I mean? So again, those are just a few examples. Just a few examples. So Tyler Perry being a black man, and a lot of people believe, like you heard the clip, and even when I did my conversation several days ago talking about what he said, I was coming from the angle of him pretty much being a man that really doesn't want to be in a relationship with a woman. So how could he even speak to what women need to do? In my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest, I feel like what he was speaking about and to was about himself and to himself, because he has been labeled to be a billionaire at this point in time. And there is probably no man that would want to be with him that he would be, making less money than. So they might only be able to contribute to his, I don't know how many dollars his light bill costs, but they may only be able to contribute a little bit towards his light bill and maybe taking him to the Cheesecake Factory every now and then. But when you're living in the closet, you don't really have to put your business out there like that. You just leave it up to assumption. And a lot of people assume, and you heard those clips, and even my thoughts on it several days ago when I talked about this. He definitely doesn't have the right to be speaking to Black women because he doesn't even want a Black woman. He is in the boat of what he is speaking about, being that person that wants to be with a Black man, probably, and they most likely are not going to be making anywhere near what he is making. So they may only be able to contribute to the light bill or the cell phone bill and taking them out to eat every now and then to Dave and Buster's or Cheesecake Factory. I don't know.
But I will. In our society right now, Black women are making a lot more money for the most part than Black men, right?
So there you have this problem of even thinking that, because the truth of the matter is, if there are a lot more Black women that are out earning Black men, and that's debatable because I don't know the statistics on that, but I'm definitely not saying that it's not true. But I'll just give an example. When I watch shows like House Hunters on HGTV, it's one of my favorite shows. My husband and I, we watch that a lot. Okay. You predominantly see Caucasian couples, husband and wives, looking for a new home. You may see an African-American couple looking for a home together, or you see single African-American women looking for homes. Sometimes you will see a single Caucasian woman looking for a home, but usually those women are either divorced and they got a nice little settlement in the divorce, or unfortunately their loved one has passed away, or, they're much older and their loved one has passed away and they're looking to downsize. And you see, again, the single African-American women. It's not easy for them. They're working hard to achieve these things, but African-American women, we're double minorities. One, we have the race, the ethnicity, and then we have the gender, being a female. So whose problem is it if Black men are not making as much as Black women? To me, that sounds like a personal problem where a lot of these Black men have chosen to not work hard, to settle. They're not stopping them from pursuing higher education. You have to want to be more than trying to become a rapper. Listen, I'm just being honest. You have to be trying to be more than social media famous, being one of these grifters out here that don't have legitimate businesses, but they're trying to grift people out of their money. Or you're just settling on a regular job when no one's stopping you from becoming a doctor. There's a shortage of Black doctors. No one's stopping you from doing these things that could definitely help you to earn a lot of money. And yeah, you might want to talk about the debts and student loans and all that other bullcrap. But listen, you have to do what you have to do. Why should a Black woman, just for the sake of having some D on demand, have to take care of a man? That's out of the natural order. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But I do believe that there is a huge battle in the atmosphere because everything is spirit, and spirit creates natural. And I do believe that there's just a lot of spiritual warfare when it comes to the African American community right now. And so to hear speeches like this, talk like this, conversations like this is really all by design. I don't want to hear the bullcrap about the government took Black men out of the homes. The government did not force any Black man out of the home. Do you think if a woman had to choose, they would have chosen food stamps and living in the projects over having a man in their home who was either their husband or eventually would be because they had some children and we're going to build a life together? When you see women from other cultures that are being fixed up by their parents with a man, with a young man, they always want to make sure that their daughter is being taken care of. So people can say, oh, it's just about the money. Well, look, the world that we live in, it requires money, period. Unless you're going to be a homeless bum or trying to live off of the grid or whatever the other bullcrap that some people try to come up with as excuses to not participate in what it is, which is being a responsible person, paying your bills, paying taxes, being a part of the contributing society, whether it's fair or not, it is a part of life. Why should Black women have to sacrifice just to get some D on demand and say, well, at least I got a man. He might only be able to contribute to the cell phone bill or the light bill and take me to the Cheesecake Factory every now and then, but at least I have a man. No, he being a billionaire, whether he's gay or straight, he should be the one that's out here speaking to men about what they need to do to level up in order to succeed and not be in a place where they are second behind Black women. Because honestly, relationships like that, for the most part, I'm not talking about a Candy and Todd situation. And even that, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I don't care how many YouTube videos they do. I don't care how many seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta they're on. And what we do get the opportunity to see, we don't see everything. So we really don't know how it is behind the scenes, right? But in most relationships like that, it doesn't work because it's out of the natural order. Men, for the most part, if they are in a relationship with a woman that is making more money, they are going to feel emasculated, even if it is not the woman's intention to do so. Okay? And then the ones that feel okay with it, those are the ones you really don't need to be with, because they're going to be the ones that are going to treat you like Sherry Shepherd's ex-husband treated her. And the nigga don't want to get up and get a job, and he's just living off of her, and she's paying child support for a baby that she didn't even give birth to. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It builds up resentment in the woman when she feels like, because it's, again, it doesn't completely shift, because those loser types like that, they would still expect to get screwed whenever they felt like, get sucked whenever they felt like, you know what I mean? They would still expect a woman to be in this womanly role of taking care of things around the house and cooking, but yet and still you're going out there and you're bringing home the bread and the bacon while he's just enjoying the fruits of your labor. And even if he has a job, he's not doing anything to contribute even more so that it doesn't stay that way forever. It's just a temporary situation, right? So he should be holding men to task to say, no, you need to be doing more. Because right now it seems as if a lot of Black women are out earning Black men. So you need to be flipping the script. You need to be changing the narrative. You may not become a Hollywood producer like I am, but you definitely can become a doctor or an anesthesiologist. You can become a dentist. There's so many other things you can do. Yeah, I'm speaking about some things in the medical industry, but I'm just giving examples. There's so many other things that you can do. And so, yeah, it might be a little temporary situation where the woman is out earning the man if they choose to be in a relationship like that. But for it to always be that way, that's out of order.
A lot of Black men who are successful, but for the most part, Black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job, and is a good man and is good to you, and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can, because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay.
That's not okay. That's not okay, because for him to say, well, he's just doing he's working whatever, as long as he is honoring you, loving you, I'm telling you, it will not last. It will be a front. It will be a cover, but the resentment builds up. Even when we see Candy and Todd on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I see it. I see the resentment on her at times, and I definitely see the frustration in him at times. I mean, we saw it before they got married. when she was like, I'm not getting married until you sign this prenup. And she said, you think you can just get with me and take all my money? Like, no. And he was like, you always think somebody just wants your money. She's trying to protect herself. It was like, was it that worth it to marry him if he was giving you such a hard time with signing the prenup where she had to get him on video the day of the wedding, the day of. So again, I'm just using that as an example because that's just kind of one of the only ones that I really know of at this point in time. But yeah, you get my drift.
That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff. You've had the light bill, baby. You can take me to dinner every now and then. That is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Wrong. It's not fine. And it's just disgusting. You're sitting there as a man, questionable whether you really want women, but a lot of people still don't believe that. I really don't. You can try to you can try to convince yourself and everybody else that you really want a woman, but most people believe that chick that had the baby, that was his beard. Period. So, in my personal opinion, I believe that he was speaking about himself, even though he is not a black woman. He being a billionaire, he can only get with a man that is making less money than him. And he seems to like black men. There's a lot of gay black men that are in Hollywood that like to be with Caucasian men. Don't know what that's about. Not getting into that topic right now. But yeah, I believe that he really wants to be with a black man, and he knows that there's no black man that has it like he has it. So he's only going to be able to get with a man that is making significantly less than what he is making. So he's convincing himself, trying to, I should say, convince himself that as long as that man is honoring him, respecting him, loving him, you take care of everything else, baby. I might be able to contribute $50 towards the light bill this month. And then we'll get payment arrangements for the rest because I ain't got it. That is fine. But that's not fine for black women. Stop trying to get out here to jump on this bandwagon of trying to get black women to settle for less. And get out here, get on your soapbox that you love to be on to give these speeches and speak to black men and teaching them and telling them about leveling up. And not leveling up to get with a woman that makes more money, but leveling up in their own lives, in their own careers, in their own skills. Tell them to do that. So anyway, guys, I have a link to that TikTok if you want to see it. It's in the description box. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. There's so much more I could say, but as you know, I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest, and I like to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.